The Runaway Woman by Josephine Cox. Narrated by Carole Boyd. Part 1. No One to Turn to. Weyburn, Bedfordshire, 1962. Chapter 1. During the day, Lucy kept herself busy. That way she had less time to think about all that was wrong in her life. At night, though, she would lie awake in her bed, her troubled thoughts wandering back over the years to when she was a 15-year-old schoolgirl. Because of her shy, nervous nature, Lucy had always found it hard to make friends. With her plump figure and lack of fashion sense, she believed herself to be unattractive and unable to fit in with her peers. She was never whistled at or chatted up by the boys at school, though that didn't really bother her. As was her nature, she accepted the way of things and took it all in her stride. Martin Lovejoy was a good-looking boy on the verge of leaving school that summer. Outgoing and flirtatious, he was commonly referred to as Jack the Lad, a title he wore like a badge of honour. Unlike the other boys, Martin had always seen more to Lucy than her nervous smile and quiet demeanour. He thought her smile was pretty and her shyness attractive. Some of the other girls were shameless flirts who would offer themselves to any boy at the merest wink, whereas if Lucy was ever offered a bit of fun down a dark alley, she would probably run a mile. But Martin meant to change all that. While the other boys regarded Lucy as a shrinking violet who was not worthy of their interest, Martin thought they were missing a trick, and to everyone's surprise he set his cap at her. He saw her as a rare challenge, a conquest to be made, a ripe apple ready to be picked. On a sweltering hot day during their final week as schoolchildren, Martin Lovejoy made his move on Lucy, who could hardly believe that one of the most admired boys in the school had made a play for her. A younger sister, Paula, and some of the other girls tried to warn her against him, but she was flattered by Martin's attention and chose to ignore their advice. Later, though, she was devastated on discovering that she had made the biggest mistake of her life. By then it was too late. Life had taken her by the throat and forced her into a situation that she bitterly regretted, and still regretted, some 24 years on. Now, with her 40th birthday just a couple of weeks away, Lucy felt cheated and desperately lonely. She'd spent all these years looking after her husband, Martin, and their children. She also worked to help make ends meet. Yet she was deeply ashamed of these feelings, believing it was wrong to regret her life, especially when she had been blessed with a family, while many women had not been so fortunate. Her husband, Martin, was a hard worker who had recently set himself up in business. He professed to love the ground she walked on, and as a dutiful wife, Lucy did her best to keep him happy. But for her, there was something missing from their marriage, something precious that had been lost way back there on the long, lonely journey. He never said she looked nice, never noticed what she was wearing, if she looked tired, if she could do with a hand, never noticed her at all, in fact. Having suffered yet another sleepless night, Lucy lay very still in the bed, being careful not to wake Martin, who was gently snoring beside her. He was sleeping so peacefully, she was made to wonder if he ever thought about their lives together, about how futile and cold it all seemed. Yet, for all her regrets and insecurities, Lucy had put her heart and soul into being a good wife, a loving mother and a loyal sister, even though she sometimes resented the manner in which the family took her for granted. They rarely ever asked her how she was, or how her day had been at the factory. Over the years she'd suggested to her sister, Paula, that it might be nice to spend a pleasant hour or so shopping in Bedford, and maybe enjoying a light lunch before they headed home. Unfortunately, there was always a reason why Paula could not go with her. Lucy accepted the situation without question. She'd offered her own daughter, Anne, the same invitation.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?